pledge allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Well, good morning, everybody. I'd like to make a small announcement that I may be slurring my words. I have a partial in my mouth, and I'm not used to it, so I'll do my best, I promise. But at this time, I'd like to say, does anybody, every member of this council, have a conflict of interest or appearance of a conflict of interest regards to any item on the agenda? And if so, please state that at this time.
No.
I do not.
Jim?
No.
No. Approval of the draft agenda?
So moved.
I would like to make a change if I could, and I realize it may be a little confusing, so I'll do my best. Under old business dredging grant request, potential of a conflict of interest should be under new business item E. Although related, seemingly, this matter should be, this is independent from the previous matter that was on the directives regarding refusal. And under E, this matter is regarding the letter from the Water Resources Authority. So E should be F, if that makes any sense. This is a new business item.
So you're requesting to take 6B down to 7? And make
I
it
am
new- okay.
requesting that under old business item B be under new business item E.
Well, since our attorney's going to act on this and discuss this, I'd rather keep it in all business so Richard could speak about it and then leave, and we don't have to keep him
Grady.
here for Grady, rather, and keep him here for another hour, Rich, because you can see that the attorney's above that. So I'd like him to be able to address the issue and then be able to leave to go back to his office instead of sitting here for another hour waiting for getting it all the way down to 7.
Well, it is new business.
Well, I disagree. I think it's old business. We've discussed this many, many times, and it's not something that's new. It's old business. So it's,
No, it's not old business. This is a letter that the town received regarding the grant. And this is new business. It's not related to the matter that was listed below as old business. Now, that leads into the other question. What are the topics in closed session? Personally, I don't like closed sessions in the middle of a meeting. I think it's not disrespectful, but it's interruptive to the audience that comes here. To have them sit for a half hour or whatever is just, I have a difficult time with it. But, so can someone tell me what the topics are that require a closed session?
It's legal advice from the attorney regarding the items he wants to discuss under item 1.
What's the topic? I'm
Well, under item 1 is the Southern Environmental Law Center and lawsuit and the
Is
mayor's
that
action agenda.
Item 6A.
Yeah, under 6A, the first item that Attorney Richardson to speak on. There needs to be a closed session to discuss the legal aspect of it before we discuss open session topic on it. And then it's the 9:30 because where he's located, we won't have to force him to try to beat all that Wilmington traffic to be here before 9.
Yeah, excuse me, but I read the open meeting laws, and I have a little thing that I took out of it. If it's a public record discussion, then why is it in closed session? Conferring with an attorney on public record discussions, according to the way I read the legislation, is not appropriate. It's not legal. Am I wrong?
That's correct, but that's not what we're doing. We're getting his legal advice before y'all make a decision. That's what's being discussed, is the attorney-client part of the action.
But can that be discussed in open session?
No. Legal advice from your attorney to y'all privately is a closed session matter.
Janet?
May I ask a question? We're getting legal advice on the dredging grant request?
No, under A. The item's under A.
Okay,
So it's just for item A?
Yes.
so what would be wrong with moving the dredging under new business?
There's nothing wrong with that, other than I believe what Mayor Pro Tem Benton's saying is that he doesn't want to have to move it back up to accommodate Grady, so Grady doesn't sit here for another hour, so he can also give his open session interpretation of that item. I mean, you can still label it new business. I mean, that's not a problem at all. It's just, we'll have to
Well,
move it
just
up
to
for
keep the
Grady's
record
sake.
straight, can we put that under new business and then we can
Yes.
adjust the topic order?
I'll put it in new business
Yes, that-
A, okay, on top, so.
What- yeah.
Is that okay, Rich?
Well,
John?
you know, the dredging grant is not new business. The fact that it's being appealed is not new business. The fact that it had to be changed is not new business. The conflict of interest issue has been brought up since 2016, 2017, 2018. It's been on our agenda for a long time. Even if that letter itself is a brand-new letter, the issues are not new issues to this council. You know, I think just keep it where it is, let Grady be here to address and provide it, and then move on.
This is a new development, and I would prefer to see it under new business,
I
even if
don't.
we move it up to second on the agenda, right under Grady.
At this point, that's just semantics. I mean,
Okay.
just, you know,
Just keep it as a second item that we cover, so Grady doesn't have to hang around here for an extra
That's
hour,
fine.
and we pay him for an extra hour.
That's
We're
fine.
already having to pay him to come down here and sit here and then turn around and go back, so.
and moving on from that, if we may, real quick, 7D,
Just take it off the new business.
yeah, we need to remove that. It's the incorrect schedule. The municipal schedule is not out for another few months. So this would be the county schedule, so we don't really need to adopt the county's retention schedule. That was just a clerical error on our part.
Okay, so we agree upon moving the old, keep it as old business?
It doesn't matter whether it's new and old, just handle it second.
Okay, so it'll be second and new business, or first and new business.
The first new business relocated to
Okay.
under 6A.
All right, repeat that. One person only, because when two people are talking, I can't hear.
That to A, 1A.
Moving
We're moving I'm sorry, A
under old business,
to new business under A, 1A. So it'll be the first thing we talk about.
okay. Okay.
Anything else on the agenda?
No, the only question that I'd like to have how many applicants have we had for the mayoral position, Lisa, at this point? One. And how many for the ERC? Two. Good. Okay, thank you.
Anything else on the agenda? Like a motion to approve the agenda?
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is the gentleman from Waste Industry here? Alan's here today to discuss our pickup on the island
And mainland.
and mainland, moving it from Wednesday to Thursday.
Good morning, council
morning.
members, mayor.
You'll need to talk into the mic.
Oh, sorry. Good morning. My name's Alan Thinpont. I'm the general manager for Waste Industries. Hiram asked me to come here today and just talk about the upcoming changes. I guess I'll start with the reason for the changes are, Brunswick County, the rapid growth we've seen recently. Obviously, you probably know, but Brunswick County is the fastest growing county in North Carolina for the last 10 years. With that growth, over the last 6, 7 years, our routes have become very unbalanced and very inefficient. As a business, we have to run efficient as possible, efficiently use our assets, our people, and our trucks so that we can continue to provide the low cost to the county. So that's the reason we had to do a route change, just because of the growth over the last few years. Our routes, as I've said, have become very unbalanced. When you start talking about doing a route change, it's a very complex process for us. You got 90-some thousand, just under 91,000 residents in the county. We have our beach communities that we don't route on Monday or Friday, so all the beaches have to be serviced between Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. We have to consider recycling. Some of the towns have mandatory recycling for the entire town. Some just have subscription like Sunset do, so we have to take into account the participation rates on recycling. We have the growth pockets that we're trying to account for, especially the 3 big mega neighborhoods, I'll call it, in the county that we know will be continuing to grow for the next 15 or 20 years. We had to separate those and get those on different days. Basically, we've done our absolute best, knowing what we know right now, to put a route together that we feel will last us longer, so that the next time we have to do a reroute again is further down the road than if we didn't do this route change.
Alan, question I have is, come, June, July, and August, and the rental season is, increased, and that extra day sometimes can be 1 or 2 bags, and sometimes right now the garbage is overflowing on a Wednesday.
Yes,
If
sir.
we come to an understanding, if it's out of control, would you look and reconsider changing it back to Wednesday if we cannot manage the garbage waste?
I think it's something Hiram and I can work very closely. It's something we can consider. I can't give you an answer if I could definitely change it right now, but we would definitely consider it. There's always been a beach on Thursday, and there always will have to be. Like I said, we can't have all the beaches on one day. That was part of the problem, just to be honest with you. When all the beaches are on one day during the summer, your recycle changes from your weekday to Saturday. That's 6 to 9 trucks now that we don't have operating on one day, and those guys are just sitting idle. So again, when you talk about efficiencies, we have to keep our routes and our trucks and our people balanced as much as we can to keep our costs down. So part of the problem is during the summer when all the towns recycle changes from the weekday to a Saturday.
And Alan, the only other question I have is, like, sometimes on a Saturday pickup, you come later, and too early rather, and the people are not out of the homes yet.
Okay?
They haven't taken the garbage out for the final pickup. And if they miss that pickup, now you're gonna go Saturday with a full can all the way to Thursday.
Yes, sir.
So can we make some agreement that we pick up a little later in the morning on Saturday, so we make sure the rentals are out and new people are not, the cleaning people are in cleaning the houses and the garbage is all taken out?
I think it depends on what time you're speaking. Just to be honest, again, we need to be in and out of the beaches before the traffic comes for safety concerns and just routing. So that's why we come in. We throw everything we have on Saturdays for all the beaches to get in and get out before the traffic starts.
My concern is just too early. It's too early. People are not out of their homes yet. I think the rentals are done, Lisa, you have to be out by 10? 11, so
10:30, yeah.
that's something you can look at. I'd appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
One of the issues, though, is that since we put in the roundabout a couple of years ago, we don't have those traffic jams on the Saturdays coming and going.
Okay.
I mean, so while other communities may, our traffic flow is pretty inconsequential
Okay.
in terms of the difference because of the checkout day. But the Thursday and Saturday garbage pickup is really not good for our community. Just because what it amounts to is basically your Thursday night and Friday morning, Friday garbage, which isn't, it is some, but it's not enough to, really merit the full pickup.
Okay.
And that's what the concern is. That's what the owners are complaining about. That's what residents are complaining about.
I just want to make sure that you'll address this issue if it gets out of control,
Yes, sir.
okay? I mean, if it gets out of control, you see it, Hiram sees it, I see it. I think we need to address it before the season's over.
Okay.
So if we have to adjust, we have to adjust, all right?
Okay.
Would you mind going over real quick that is all the mainland going to be on Wednesday now? And only the island on Thursday?
That's
Or-
correct.
So there's no neighborhoods that are still be on Thursdays in Sunset Beach?
Correct. The whole mainland will be on
Okay.
Wednesday now.
Alan, since
Well,
we have a
I
rental,
understand.
yeah, sorry, Jay. Since we have a rental system, why isn't that reversed? And the island gets picked up on Wednesday and the mainland gets picked up for Thursday, since they're not rental properties. And the issue of people coming in and out is not so critical.
Part of the problem, again, was that the beach is on Wednesday when your recycle changes during the summer. That was part of the big problem, was the number of trucks that go from Wednesday to Saturday. So we had to split the beaches up from Wednesday and split them evenly between Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
So since there is a pickup on Wednesday, if there's an issue, we could switch that around without causing major problems with you.
It's hard, I mean, honestly, I can't answer that right now. I mean, it would cause problems because about the number of, I'm not sure how many trucks we send on the island every day. It's more than one truck. Obviously, we're going to take care of the town. If it becomes a major issue, I will work with Hiram to see what solutions we can come up with.
What is the difference between picking up on the island on Wednesday and changing it to the mainland on Wednesday? I don't understand why that changes anything.
I'd have to have my GIS team here to help build this. Part of the problem is going to be the recycle. Your recycle on the mainland does not change from the weekday to a Saturday where it does on the island. All the beaches on up and down the coast, all the beaches recycle stops during the week, during the summer, and moves to Saturday. That's part of the routing problems we had. On the island, it stays every other week and it stays on their service day.
Which is.
I'm sorry, on the mainland. I'm sorry.
I just want to be a record. If there's a problem, we need to address this again down the road. Because I foresee being a problem. Just not enough time from Thursday to Saturday. We're going to have issues with
If
garbage.
I can be honest, during the summer on the beach, you could pick up every day and the trash can's full. So I hear what you're saying, but there's always been a beach on Thursday. Like I said, there always will have to. I don't doubt that going from Wednesday to Thursday will produce more trash, but we could literally come service the beach houses every day during the summer and they would be full.
How about, there's an issue if some of the bigger houses where they have 2 and 3 families,
Yes,
could
sir.
you supply them with more garbage cans, another extra garbage can?
That's something that should be available now.
Okay. So
Yes,
that's
sir.
something. So that's something we could tell the rental people, if they have the bigger houses with 3, 4 families,
Yeah.
that maybe they could request another can.
Yeah, we notify anyone who calls in about those things that they're able to contact Waste Industries and request another can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there an extra charge for that?
There is.
Yes.
Yes.
But that stuff doesn't pass through the town.
That goes to the homeowner.
Right. I mean, it's our contract, we don't have, our contract's for Saturday pickup. Our contract's not for the normal scheduled pickup. That's through the county taxes. So we don't have any, we should not be passing through that money, is what I'm saying. So they'd have to take that directly with the company,
Okay.
an additional can.
Some towns do it, we do it, they can deal directly with us. Some of the towns do charge for the extra can and work with us. I guess it's up to the town, but we do offer extra containers, and it is an extra cost.
And we don't have a program in place for that. I mean, we could, if you want to look at developing that, it'd just be something else. With the recycled containers, they could do it through subscription with us on that part. But since we don't have something in place, it'd be easier for them just to contact Waste Industries.
Okay, let's keep it as it is right now, if everybody agrees. But hopefully we won't have you back, and it'll go smooth.
I hope so.
I
I'll
appreciate you
work
c-
directly with Hiram.
I appreciate you coming out.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Have a good
Thanks,
day.
Alan.
Thank you.
At this time, we'd like to do public comments. Please state your name, address. Any public comments? Neil? No. Thank you, sir.
Good morning. My name is Neil Gilbert. I live at 1150 Seabourn Way. That's in the Cape Side section of Sunset Beach. What I just passed out to you is right off the presses. The Brunswick Environmental Action Team has created a brochure regarding offshore drilling and seismic testing. I did give some out to people in the audience here today. If you did not get a copy, Tom Goodwin over here has extra copies. We have thousands of them, which we plan on giving throughout all of Brunswick County over the next couple weeks, because it's becoming crunch time. It's becoming crunch time for our beach, for our coast, for our beautiful town of Sunset Beach. There's 3 items on the agenda that I want to talk about, and I want to highly encourage you to vote yes on all 3 of them. I could spend hours probably talking about each one, but I'll make it short. Item 6C, offshore drilling and seismic testing resolution. I commend this town already having passed a resolution 5-0 in being opposed to offshore drilling. I commend and thank Councilman Corbett for reaching out to the Brunswick Environmental Action Team and Oceana for trying to find a resolution that's going to be stronger and have more impact. I encourage you to vote yes for that. That's a no-brainer. You've already done it. Let's just make it stronger. 6A, 2 items there. The SELC, the Southern Environmental Law Center lawsuit, and the mayor's action agenda. I wish that you would have those not be behind closed door. I think the people here in the public would like to hear what you have to say about it. Back in December, I came to you and said, this is urgent. It's happening. The federal government is letting the drilling take place off the beaches of all of the Atlantic. Every governor from Maine to Florida has opposed this, whether they're Republican or Democrat. 16 towns in South Carolina have joined the Southern Environmental Law Center. I was hoping Sunset Beach would be the first, but Oak Island beat you to it last week. They have joined in with the lawsuit. Doesn't mean you still can't be leaders. So please, please protect our coast and join in this amicus brief. It may not be, it's going to cost a little, but what's going to cost us in the long run, it's going to cost us a lot if we don't do this. And finally, I think my time's probably close to ending, so the Southern Environmental Law Center's, the mayor's action agenda. I came to you over a year ago about this. You guys have just passed a very ambitious, fantastic climate mitigation plan, and I commend you for that. There's no reason why you can't take it one step further and join in with the Climate Accord. You would be the first town in Brunswick County to do so. All the big cities in North Carolina have already joined. Let's start getting the smaller towns to join as well. It would almost be hypocritical to have such a wonderful climate change program that you have in place and not join the mayor's climate agenda.
Wrap it up, Rich.
All right, thank you very much for your time. I know you all love our beach. I know you'll do the right thing. Please vote yes for all 3 of these issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Neil. Anyone else?
Morning, my name's Tom Goodwin. I live at 1080 Seabourn Way in Sunset Beach. My comments today pertain to the oil issue as well. And a lot of what I will say today was given to me by an individual who had worked on an oil rig for 10 years. He's not able to make it today, so I'll read his comments to give you a feel for what goes on an oil rig and what we can expect if something were to be built out here. This individual worked, his name is Mr. Mike Bohr. He was involved in drilling hundreds of wells on the Gulf of Mexico, Cape May, New Jersey, and Santa Barbara, California. He worked for a drilling contractor, was Sonnet Offshore Drilling, which became Transocean, which for those of you who watched the Deepwater Horizon movie, that was the company that was involved in the drilling there. The way the oil industry works is that they will lease the land that they will drill, and then they will hire a drilling company that will come in and then drill for oil. They will be paid, the drilling company will be paid on a daily rate. And so what that means is time is important. They will drill as fast as they can to get the oil out of the ground as fast as they can. And the concern there is that When people do things in a hurry, mistakes are made, and anybody who's seen the movie knows what happened there. He's got particular personal experience in Galveston. There were 3 oil spills in the 5 years he lived there, plus a hurricane, Hurricane Alicia. As a result of those spills, tar balls were released into the ocean, and then they would wash up to shore. Tar balls are basically dark-colored, sticky blobs of oil that occur when oil floats on the ocean's surface. And when he would go to the beach, after they would come out of the water, they'd have to clean their feet with mineral spirits. Now, I can only imagine what that would do to our tourism industry if everybody who came to the beach that had to clean their feet with mineral spirits because of oil blobs on the beach. There would be those that would say that there are jobs that would be created because of this. But keep in mind, these people will work for the oil company, but they will move from rig to rig. So they may be here for a while, but they will leave to go to another rig. The bottom line is that if there's offshore drilling off of our coast, we will feel the effect. It will happen. Again, these are his comments. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
At this time, is there any other public comments? Katie?
Katie Hovermill, 1429 Bay Street, Sunset Beach. I said last time I was talking I was going to try to smile more. Seems like I get so serious. I wanted to speak on 3 things that's on the agenda today. One was 6C, which was your offshore drilling and seismic testing resolution, which I think all of you are going to vote for, and I hope you will. Thank you very much. I think that's a good step for our community. The second one was the report from Waste Industries, which I think you addressed in a light manner that I was thinking, and that I was worried about the trash piling up. But I'm a little bit confused, and I hope this will be straightened out. If there's an extra can from Waste Industries, does the resident have to pay for it? And if that's the case, I'm hoping that the council will send a letter to the rental companies and encourage them to have their renters pay for an extra can, because they likely won't do that. And I think that might help. I think the Thursday trash pickup for the island is going to be a disaster, personally. The third item I wanted to speak upon was 6B, conflict of interest. Is that still on the agenda? Because I walked in late when you were adjusting the
Yes, it is.
agenda.
It just got moved to new.
Okay, that's a new. I wrote you sent an email this morning, which I doubt you have had time to read because I just sent it. But I'm thinking that I'm glad you're discussing this in public, but I think that the issue has been in front of the council for a very long time, in front of the previous council, and it seems to me that there is no conflict of interest on any part of the current council member at the state level, but there could be construed that there's a real or apparent financial or other interest as defined in the federal laws. But I know that you have sought legal advice in the past, and I assume you're consulting it now, and I think the best thing is just give your minutes to Dr. Coley Cordiero. Let him know what you have done. Let him ask the Division of Water Resources for direction. And that's my personal opinion, is what might be the best thing for the council to do. Speaking of conflict of interest, and this is my personal opinion, but I elected those of you I elected because I feel like you were voting in the way I would vote if I were on council. I had similar interests. I'm very concerned that all of you are discussing things ad infinitum in public. I hope that you would continue to discuss, but my hope is that you are given the opportunity to discuss things without interrupting each other, that you are civil to each other, and that you call the question in a reasonable time after discussion, make a decision, vote, and get on with it. Thank you.
Thanks, Katie. Any other public comments at this time? Karen, please.
Good morning. Karen Joseph, 915 Sandpiper Bay Drive, Sunset Beach. In regard to your discussion of conflict of interest, I have worked with Attorney Richardson. I have great respect for him and his opinions and his advice. As someone has already said, this topic has been on your agenda for months, for years. There is no conflict of interest. What I believe there is some collusion behind closed doors to try to keep this topic on the agenda. Mr. Richardson's salary from this town, well-deserved, I might add, because he is a professional, is hundreds of dollars per hour, portal to portal. And you keep dragging him down here for this ridiculous topic. As was just stated by the previous speaker, get on with it and get it off the agenda. And please do the important business of this town and stop beating this dead horse. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
Richard Hilderman, 407 Sunset Street. I think there's a misconception of where this conflict of interest thing arose. Back in November, the town submitted a new grant for the dredging project. Attached to this grant, which I have a copy here, is a statement, no conflict of interest certification. Right below that statement is a place where your town administrator signed certifying there's no conflict of interest. What has come out is the granting agency, so Dr. Cordero, has questioned that there may be a conflict of interest, and they want a response. This has nothing to do with Mr. Richardson's opinion. This is a concern the granting agency has, and if you don't give them a valid response, I suspect they're going to deny your grant.
Thanks to people like you.
Point of order.
Just be quiet. At this time, is there any more public comments? At this time, I'd like to make this session to closed session. Be back about a half hour.